This is Paul Mascetta. And in this video, I just wanted to take a few seconds to talk about motivation. You know, people write me all the time. They ask me, how can I stay motivated? How can I get motivated? How do I find that fire that burns within me? How do I figure that out? How do I make that happen? And believe it or not, the answer is pretty simple and it's pretty surprising. And it's probably something that you haven't heard from anyone else. And my theory is that in order to really get motivated, you got to start to scare the shit out of yourself. You have to start operating from a place of intense fear. Fear where you are afraid that you are going to lose your life type of fear. And here's what I mean by that. When it's a well-known fact that people are motivated by pain and pleasure. So they're motivated to either run from pain or experience pleasure. And the truth of the matter is that people will do more to avoid pain than they will to gain pleasure. I heard an analogy once before that really hit home with me. It made a lot of sense, and it went something like this. Imagine you're in bed, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, your doorbell rings, you wake up, you answer the door, it's your neighbor. He's standing there in his robe, you're half asleep, you're looking at the sky like, what are you doing at my doorstep at 3 o'clock in the morning? He says, listen, I just want to tell you, I was on the internet and I noticed that Sears is running a crazy sale on tires. So I ran over and I looked at the tires on your car, and the exact tires that you have on your car, Sears is running a sale on. So if you want, maybe you and I should head over to Sears so you can get these tires. And you look at him like he's out of his mind. You're saying to yourself, well, what's the matter with this guy? Why is he ringing my doorbell telling me this? But at the same time, you think, okay, maybe he's got some good intentions. So you say, oh, all right, thank you. I'll get back to you. And you go back to sleep thinking that your neighbor lost his mind. Now, imagine a different scenario. You're in your bed sleeping. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. The doorbell rings. You wake up frantic. You open the door. It's your neighbor. And he goes, hey, Paul, I just want to let you know, I saw a bunch of guys steal all the tires off of your car just now. What's going to happen to you? What is your reaction going to be? How motivated are you going to be now to replace those tires on your car? You see, that's the difference between gain and loss. People will do more to avoid loss than they will to gain pleasure. Now, I want to suggest one simple thing to you. The only reason why you are not achieving a goal or you're not motivated to achieve a goal is because you're not scared enough. You're not worried enough about what could possibly happen if you don't achieve that goal. You see, my guess is if you really had an important goal that you set your mind to, that you committed to paper, that you wrote down, that you decided was important to you, you probably tried all of the positive stuff, all of the stuff about achieving your goal and what it's going to feel like when you achieve it and visualizing yourself achieving that goal. The bottom line is, if you tried all that stuff and it failed, then what you need to start doing is focusing on what you have to lose. So there are a couple of things specifically that you should focus on losing. The first one is, I want you to think about your certainty. What you stand to lose in terms of your certainty. You see, the bottom line is the only reason that you would commit to a goal that you think is important to you and then not follow through on it is because somewhere along the line you decided that the work needed to put in to achieve that goal wasn't worth the reward. So you look in the mirror. You realize you gained a few pounds. Your clothes don't fit you the way they used to. You're like, man, I'm out of shape. I got to get to the gym. I got to get back in shape. So you go to the gym, couple of days, couple of weeks, but you're not seeing the results as fast as you want to see them. So what starts to happen? You start thinking in your mind that the amount of work that you're putting in is not worth the minuscule results that you're getting, right? You're looking at things on a very short-term basis. You're not looking at the long-term results. And so immediately you make the decision that the work needed to put in isn't worth the result. And so you give up. and you stop. Sometimes it happens consciously, sometimes it happens subconsciously. So what you got to get back to thinking about is what you have to lose if you don't continue. So in the weight loss scenario, the fact of the matter is you're going to lose even more of your appearance. You're going to gain even more weight. You're going to have to buy clothes that are even bigger. So you're going to wind up worse than where you are now. The second thing I want you to think about are the people that you're going to let down. Because let me explain something to you. The quality of your life really is determined by the quality of your relationships with other people. Relationships nurture the soul. Without other people in our lives, we would go insane. We would suffer from loneliness. So I can guarantee you that if you are a person who's serious about achieving goals, about a person that wants to better your life, you probably have other people in your life that are important to you, and you got to start thinking about them. You got to start thinking about how you're going to let them down if you don't follow through on your goals. And then the last thing that I want you to think about is the lack of significance. Because all of us want significance on some level. All of us want to achieve some level of significance on one level. It's one of the basic human desires. And so what I want you to start thinking about is the lack of significance, the loss of significance that's going to take place if you don't continue to follow through on goals or a specific goal that you set. So the bottom line is, you got to start getting scared. You got to start really looking in the mirror and thinking to yourself, damn, man, I'm really about to lose X, Y, and Z if I keep doing what I'm doing. There's a reason why they say fear is a great motivator. It's because it is. Fear will light a fire under your ass like nothing else. I can promise you. You ever see a mother lift a fucking car off of her child? What do you think that is? That's the adrenaline pumping through her body, giving her that superhuman strength. But where does that come from? It comes from that fear inside of her of losing her child. And so you got to start getting scared. You got to find your fear. Forget about finding your motivation. Forget about finding your visualization. Forget about finding what drives you in your life purpose. You tried all that. It's not working. You got to find your fear, man. You got to figure out what you're afraid of and let that drive you.